This is the poetry reading and roundtable edition of People and Their Poems, hosted by Sandy Lee Carlson.
Thanks everybody for joining us for the Poetry Roundtable. We're just delighted to have Tom Nicotera as our featured poet. Thank you everybody for being here on this beautiful Sunday in spring. Would anybody like to start by reading a poem as we warm up for our feature, Tom Nicotera? Okay, Isabelle, thank you. And we'll all mute so that there's no distracting background sound.
Doesn't have so much to do with the weather, but it's kind of fun. Advertising. I parked my car in the shadiest spot I could see. And when I got out, I was, man, oh man, did I scare you? Have I messed you up? I didn't see you in the shade here. She was squatting on the sidewalk behind a pole holding up the awning, which was why I didn't see her, mixing up her paints for a shop window. No, I'm fine, she said, smiling up at me. I'll only be a minute, said I. I dashed into Cuts by Leslie to flash her my complete new smile. She had done such a wonderful job on my exterior head before the work was done in my interior head. We laughed at my big smile as she gave another $20 haircut, and I went back to my car. As I backed out, I saw a big, toothy grinned face and Tuesdays and Sundays all day, Burgers $2.95 in bright, fresh colors on Jake's front window.
That's a nice slice of life, Isabelle. I can just see that sidewalk and all that activity.
And here's my bright new smile. Yes, that's why I wasn't on this Zoom call last month, because I was in Albania getting the rest of my new teeth.
Congratulations on your new smile. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Would anybody else like to read next? Okay, Sharon, go ahead.
This poem is called Joanne. It's for Joanne Bauer, poet, artist, educator, activist, October 1948 to April 2020. I didn't know Joanne well, and now I never will. I read she took her own life. I don't know how. She was a poet, maybe poet stones in her pocket and a slow walk into the river, or maybe a quick bullet like my nephew Tom. I remember her poem about a little girl holding a doll. The doll looked like the little girl. Together they watched life happen to other people from across a road. I recall a sadness, a loneliness to that poem. One year I attended her winter solstice party. Didn't expect to know when one, didn't expect to stay long. Hours later, I was still there, still engaged, feeling at home among interesting strangers, young, old, black, white, tan, gray, some loud, some quiet. There was a fine jumble of food, handmade chocolates, mac and cheese, pigs in a blanket. There was a poet laureate in a colorful hat. On the porch, we built a fire. Someone read from the Bhagavad Gita. The chair I sat on broke. I fell on my ass, unhurt and laughing. We ate and sang and recited poetry. A strange man in sockless sandals spoke of spiritual things. He seemed a mix of Jesus Christ, Chauncey Gardner, and a stoner. The Gita reader seemed angry, but maybe that was sadness. Everyone else seemed happy, but what do we really know about other people's happiness? Joanne always wore a golden orange color. Coats, scarves, hats, even her eyeglasses glowed. I wonder, did she use that color to brighten up her days, to try to live in more light? Perhaps there was a darkness down so deep, even the most golden of oranges couldn't reach it. Now, her poems remain little pieces of her clues to a life well lived. That's Joanne Bauer. Some of you may have known her. Tom, I bet you knew Joanne. She was a very active person. She started a fund for racial equality, and she just was amazing. So.
Yeah, I knew her, and that's a really good poem for her. In fact, I was at that party you were just
I know,
describing.
I remember
Yeah,
that. I didn't know you well then, but you and Sherri were in
right.
one of the rooms.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah, she was really a star of a human being.
amazing.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sharon and Tom, she was a Connecticut poet. Where was she? Like, what part of the state?
Hartford. She lived right in downtown Hartford in one of the really old, beautiful buildings at the West End. She was so active politically; it was amazing in the whole Hartford area.
Wow.
Yeah, and her suicide just stunned everybody that knew her because
Yeah,
she always seems so upbeat about her poetry and doing things and meeting new people and so on.
it was almost
Why you
exactly
are
2 weeks into the pandemic, and I
Mm.
don't know. I know she had dealt with depression a long time, and I think the pandemic just that isolation or something. I don't know.
I think your line, Sharon, but what do we know of other people's happiness is just nails it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful poem.
Thank you, Naomi.
That was the line I copied down too. Yeah, it is so true, and also the color that she chose and what that meant to her could have meant. Very powerful, Sharon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Naomi, you want to go next?
I will. I didn't want to follow Isabel's upbeat poem, but I think this follows Sharon's pretty well. So this is called Farewell Tour. I originally titled it Shit, but I think for now it's Farewell Tour. If you think it should go back to the original title, let me know. All right. Shit. I wish I'd had something more eloquent, but that's what came out. Shit, man, I said again, and we both laughed. Then we cried. I leaned into his car to hug my friend of many years, and we held for an extra beat. Under his heavy Berber fleece pullover, I felt bones. He smelled that smell of the body breaking down, beginning its farewell tour. I'd almost driven past in my usual busyness, but earlier this morning I'd gotten the news that Ellen's grandma Fran died in her sleep. I'd been thinking of her yesterday and how I owed her a visit, but wanted to wait till June was over, past the anniversaries, Ellen's and my mother's. Now, another to add to June's death toll. Now, too late for goodbyes, no final moments of fraught and hard-fought caring. And how soon until my friend will be among them? There might not be another crossing of our paths. I turned back and caught up to him. After our tears ebb, I return us to the present, reminding him, you said you had something creative you wanted to talk about. He brightens and tells me he'd like my help with boxes, sorting what can be tossed, what saved. I pause. June is the 1 month I give myself permission to say no, to be present with my sorrow, to shelter my woundedness, the month I water the wilted flowers of my own broken heart. Instead, I say, yes, of course. We tend the living.
Wow.
That's it.
Naomi, I think that's so wonderful to give yourself that time. And I love your line to water the wilted flowers of your heart. It's really beautiful.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I liked what you also said about yourself in June. I think that's so perfect. You have to give yourself a month to say no to people. But then you went ahead and said yes to that friend.
It's, this balance.
Yeah.
There'll be more Junes to get through.
I love that you start with shit. I really think that's perfect, Naomi. That takes us right where we need to be right from the beginning. And that line, the smell of the body breaking down, man, that was so visceral for me. And I could feel his bones at that point. So it's a gorgeous poem. It's just heartbreaking in a beautiful way.
Would
Just
you
to follow
change
up
the
on-
title back?
I don't think so. I think I would
Okay.
leave it. And then the first word of shit in the poem
Okay.
just takes us there. So I think it would, for me, I like it just the way it is. But I missed the title. There was say it again.
Farewell tour.
Okay, farewell. I heard tour. I didn't. Yeah, that's nice.
Just to follow up on Sharon, sometimes you just need those certain words, Like sometimes you just need to drop the F-bomb because nothing else will do.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the title is depending on exactly how soon you want to shock people with it.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I think I agree with Sharon that it might detract if I had it in the title. I mean, I just called it that as a placeholder at the beginning.
What about use June as a title?
That's a
I
nice
like
one.
that too. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. It doesn't give too much away.
Yeah.
No, I think
Thank you.
I think that's good. Yeah. Naomi, I just have to ask you, I love the sign behind you. We when we deny others humanity, we dehumanize ourselves. That's perfect for these times.
Thank you. I had fun making it.
David, had you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I had two poems I was considering. One written in response to the 1776 billion-dollar graft of, but this is June and it's Pride Month. And so I'm going to try to read a poem that I wrote many years ago on the passing of David Richard Whalen, the noted biographer and art historian, famous for writing the biography of Robert Capa. And we're coming up to the 20th anniversary of his passing. So I'm gonna read that because it seems like we're in that zone. I'm not an anomaly. I call it elegy. When all assembled came to mourn your death, to testify and raise their voices praising you, I was not allowed to speak these words. In death as life, the world denied your voice, and that of any who'd speak the truth. For near a decade, you and I were lovers. No paradise unlocked its gates for you, no Demeter her lush Elysian fields. All was dust and ash tossed to and fro by careless winds across the vault of heaven that cast a pall, suppressing light, a shroud asphyxiating joy. By your design, you launched my suffering. And on that sea, I chart my course alone. Boy, this brings up stuff. There is no consolation, your journey's ended. I take no comfort in cliche and platitude, for pain does not make new life possible when possible was buried with your death. What pictures can I hang upon the walls of memory? How do I knit a place of solace in my heart of him who feared to take my hand and live, but rather by his own extinguished hope and dreams, and doing so left me bereft, consumed by dying memories. Of all the words of deed and pen, the saddest are by far what might have been. What might have been if only they haunt me still. So I in my ensuing days declaim like sweet fool ague cheek this melancholy air. I was adored once too. And in that ode exhume relief that where it's one, that so it was once too. Been 10 years since I looked at that one.
It was gorgeous.
Such
Yeah.
a beautiful poem, my God.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's in tribute to him, so he won't be forgotten.
Um,
It was only in 2020 that the family and all our colleagues in New York accepted the fact that he had committed suicide. They were in total denial.
Mm.
So anyway, I try to keep his name alive when I can.
It's a beautiful tribute. It's very moving.
Thank you.
I
It's a
love
tribute
the
and an
line,
excoriation at the same time. Yeah.
which is what makes it even more powerful.
Yeah.
Your line, possible was buried with your death. That really, hits hard.
That's actually indicting Whitman, because Whitman said, if I can't remember the exact, but new life is possible through pain. Well, thank you anyway.
Really good.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
David.
you.
Whenever we have these conversations, it just leaves me living inside the poems that we all read and thinking about how poetry is the place to go to keep those emotions and those memories alive and to try to make some kind of sense out of things. It's really amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I also find, our mind is a time machine. There's certain things like sense memory drag you, take you back, send you back, like Doctor Who or whatever, right back to the way I felt upon finding out of his death, and that was 19 years ago.
I'd like to just mention too that connections that we make with people and things and so on, like you did, I mean, these things make us who we are in the present moment, and we can't just forget them. We have to keep them in mind. And you did that well in the poem.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Julie, did you want to read?
Yes, I have one. It's not in the same vein, but this is something I wrote recently. After going to a concert that my daughter was in, it's a choral concert, and this came after that. Attending a concert of 100 voices, I think of Beethoven. I'm sitting in a church pew beneath a soaring ceiling. A slight odor hangs in the air, hint of mold and wood polish, reviving memories of ritual and Catholic school. The singers begin with Jesu joy of man's desiring, then wind their way through pieces by Rutter, Tallis, and Mozart, dark chestnut tones of the men blending with mellow harmonies of altos and bright sopranos. As I receive the music, I think, what if my ears were muted like Beethoven's, and I could only stare at mouths opening and closing as they formed the shapes of vowels and consonants? At the premiere of his Ninth Symphony, he stands to the side, conducting the sounds he hears in his head. When the music stops, someone gently turns him to see the people clapping, whistling, crying, a silent pantomime of joy. But a new seed is sprouting in his mind's ear, and he hurries past the crowd to return to his sanctum and continue the jotting of dots and dashes on paper, the only function left in his life that makes any sense. Here and now, mighty waves of joined voices vibrate us together like harp strings, an effect that can surely be felt to the farthest reaches of the cosmos. Who knows why my mind went that way?
Wow.
To Beethoven and then back, but
A new sound in his mind's ear was so interesting to me. It was like, yeah, that may actually be how it happened. And I loved your whole build up to the Beethoven part too. And I love the image of the slight odor in the air that reminded you of Catholic school. I can't remember. It was mold and something else. That whole build up is really nice. And then when you hit Beethoven, it's just like amazing. It's interesting. I never thought about from inside him what that must be like, and the idea of watching the applause and just that whole, it's just wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for
And also watching Beethoven, watching the mouths open. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, you just put us right in there. It gave me literal chills earlier. I'm gonna put whatever, a link, if I can find it in a second, in the chat to a film that your poem reminded me of. I think it's called Following the Ninth. And this filmmaker uses, I think it's 5 different places around the world. I know post or Chile during the Pinochet regime, China, I forget the others, talking about the importance of that symphony as a liberation, anthem. Anyhow, let me find it and I'll put it in the chat for anybody who's
Is
interested.
that a movie, Naomi?
It's a movie. It's probably 12 years old, but it was a documentary, but it was so well done. So I'll find it and put it in the chat.
I think the vibration line was cool because didn't he also have a pipe? Didn't he like bite down on a pipe so he could sense the vibrations in the music?
I heard that. Yeah, that was true. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you have to figure if a whole symphony is playing and a whole bunch of voices are singing, he must feel that vibration, right? And I certainly felt it when I was in the audience of the concert, so, and it just united us all in a beautiful way. Yeah.
Yeah, your poem brings us right there. It's really wonderful the way you do that.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Julie. So his mind's ear and vibrating us together. Also, just to echo what Sharon and Ed said, just resonated. And it wasn't the 9th; it was the 5th. But our daughter Adela took us to hear the Hartford Symphony perform the 5th with a friend of ours a couple years back, and there was such an emotion. I was bawling. It was it was just so physical. The conductor is this really slender woman with like all leather on, leaning and just so involved physically with the conducting and the playing, and you're just right there and you can see the faces and all how physical music is, and I think it's such an easy thing to forget that it is physical. It's not abstract. It's your whole body is making this thing happen. And it's really amazing. And your poem made me think about the isolation he must have also felt despite all that passion that he was able to make available to us. It's really powerful.
Thank you, Sandy.
Well, and also it's like reading poetry, reading poems, the sounds, the words, the meaning behind it. It just, poetry is word music or something, but yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
All right, Tom, why don't we proceed to the main event here? Go ahead, Tom.
Okay. I thought that I would do a theme of poems about summer because we're almost there. in summer, and I can't wait. We're very close, June 21st. And the first poem I'm going to read is for my daughter when she was young. I used to live in a farmhouse, rented a farmhouse in East Granby, and the landlord had cows in the back pasture, and we would go back there. And it's called June Poppies. Early June evening, and in the pasture, cows glow from the lowering sun. My daughter April runs to pet them. They start, buck their heads, race off. She stands, final rays of sun haloing her hair, puzzled, begging them to stay. Ivy climbs a tree, and the sun anoints each leaf. Even old fence posts emanate light. Slowly, blue hills cut off the sun. A thumbnail of moon scratches the sky. Mist saddles the swamp, and we turn to go. At the house, swallows dive. Silhouettes of trees frame the sky, and two June poppies smack red lips upon the cheek of night. Thank you. There's going to be some birds in some of these poems, and this is one. It's called Great Horned in the Backyard. Great Horned Owl. After a long day, a long night, on a cold and clear wintry night, in the kitchen, washing yesterday's dishes, I hear a faint set of hoots, almost imaginary. I stop the water, stop the clink of china and silver, pause midway, sponge on dish, and wait. And yes, there it is again. I step out to the breezeway, wear silence like a cloak, still myself, and listen. Nothing but the bare branches above the wetlands. But then, there it is again, the great horned owl with its four-pitch cry. Hoo, 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 hoo. Sounding like every Western movie I saw as a kid. John Wayne, Wagon Train, Audie Murphy, Sugarfoot. Listening on the prairie, listening for warriors, but hearing only owls, coyotes now and then, a lone wolf howling, a whippoorwill floating notes beneath the moon. I listened, it came. I listened, it came. Pulses of hoots from a huge owl on a midnight branch, and off, very far off, another great horned, answering, hoo, 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 hoo. For many moments I listened, jacketless, hatless, feet in slippers. Damn the dishes, damn my supper, damn the bills. An owl threads its ghostly pitch, sewing up the night with notes, looking for a meal, a mate, a piece of territory, weaving a fabric of magic. So do we all. The dishes can wait. Owls call. Yeah, thank you. So I actually saw this happen in my parking lot of my apartment building with a turkey and a mailman. And after I wrote the poem, I saw an article in AARP magazine about a mail truck, this was in Minneapolis, surrounded by turkeys. So this is what happened here. Turkey love. I watch the mailman make his rounds and see that I am not the only watcher. A full-blown wild turkey male watches too, from the center of the parking circle. Is this a quirk of nature, a feathered stalker lurking? He rotates stance, keeps a steady eye on the mailman walking door to door. The mail truck's parked in someone's space, but there the bird lurks, watching, watching. Turkey lurker, turkey lover. How to explain its infatuation? Every day I see this. Every day this orchestration of love, this persistent adoration. Ah, the romantic urge in me wants a celebration, but again I focus on the turkey. There is a method to its mad pursuit. It watches, waits, follows. When the mail truck appears and when it sees the postal carrier near his last mailbox, cunning as a cat, it watches, waits, sidles to the mail truck in the odd and wary ways turkeys sidle. And then it gobbles, a merry, lusty gobble. Then it fans its tail, a regal display of feathers, and in the morning light, an iridescence of colors. Green, copper, dark brown, red dawn of wattle, wings shining in the energy of sun, 3 feet tall at least, in all its wild turkey magnificence, it watches, a patient lover waiting. The carrier finishes slipping mail in the last slot, waits, walks to the truck, climbs in, the turkey posting beak against the tire, hugging the truck, its red, white, and blue metallic hue, some type of unfathomable emotional magnet, some mysterious fascination. The driver drives off, the turkey madly chasing, running as fast as its spindly legs can carry it. Why it doesn't fly is a mystery to me, running as if the clock of love was running down and time for love was wasting away. Mail truck vanishes around the corner, and so does the turkey, both beyond my sight, but tomorrow the same scene will repeat, a never-ending romance as turkey lover awaits delivery and does its turkey mating dance. Deliverer of mail makes rounds with tales to tell back at the post office. The turkey, patient for another day, waits, watching, watching, hoping. Love unrequited is laborious for all of us. We know, oh God, we know. Yeah. Thank you. Um, this is it's a very short poem. When I lived at that house in East Granby, I would step outside at night and listen to sounds uh, in the night. And this is called All These Sounds at 3 a.m. All these sounds at 3 a.m. around my tent. Oh, I'm sorry. Different setting. This was when I was camping in a tent um, in Irving State Forest in Massachusetts. All these sounds at 3 a.m. around my tent. Screech owls whinnying, furry snorters at the table, heavy step crunching through the woods at frenzied gallops, the whining whistle of some animal I cannot name. But none are as scary as the sound in my own tent, my heart beating, and those moments when it seems to cease beating. I startle awake, afraid of dying alone in a tent where no one knows I've gone, and my last hushed breaths drowned by whinny, whistle, crunch. Um, by the way, not long after that, I found that I had AFib, and that's what was causing the stopping of my heart. This poem is when I stepped outside of my house in East Granby near Newgate Prison and listened to the sounds. It's called Beyond. Beyond the ticking of the clock, beyond the rattle of tree frogs, beyond the shushing of the leaves, beyond the furor of tires on road, beyond mouse chatter and cricket chirp, a radio plays, so barely audible it seems imagined, and then beyond even this, there's no sound, only the stars' ancient fires stoking the night with impassioned starries that reach us only as light. Father's Day is also coming up, first day of summer, and this is for my father. When I used to go fishing with him at West Hill Pond, and it's called Dreaming of Fish. When I think of you, I recall the early morning ride to West Hill Pond, car-hugging curves, sun just rising, lake surface shimmering, air vibrating with a fish to be taken, the giant trout lurking, perhaps even the rare and fierce landlocked salmon. $2 for a boat gave us the day afloat, and after donuts at the dockside grill, we spent the day skimming the water, the line tugging at our hands, spinners dragging down the minnows to the numb cold waters where trout stirred. The sun's quiet heat was broken midday by a feast of grinders and cold sodas and whatever talk mulled between us. We stayed till we caught our limit, 5 trout each, which Mom would clean that night, then fry the rich freshness in egg and milk batter. We stayed till sometimes 1, sometimes 4, whenever that limit came, but we stayed together, man and boy, poles held taut, boat gently rocking, swallows skimming the surface, clouds floating in water, waiting for fish, dreaming of fish. Thank you. I have 2 more poems. This is for the late summer, which will be coming after the beginning of summer. Late summer twilight. Twilight, my favorite time when the mass of leaves turns into a wall of darkness, making a ragged edge beneath the sky, as tops of trees define the light. Choruses of cricket chirps arise, a wall of sound blind to my eyes, and piercing through like a hero with a lance is the whittling call of a screech owl, shimmering with an eerie song that I see with my ears. Katydids now and then scratch the constant roar of cricket sounds that thrust through the air like prayers in the night in a language I cannot decipher, but somehow know, though the language speaks only in the dark. Though daylight is a welcome treasure, it's in the twilight of the summer, when creatures speak, when shadows linger, that the soul of night beckons with its unseen finger. And finally, this is a poem for the wood thrush. And if you haven't heard a wood thrush in your life, you should go out into the woods and hear one. They have a beautifully melodic sound, probably the most, to me, the most beautiful of all the New England songbirds. Wood thrush prayer. Bless the wood thrush, whose song echoes through these woods. Mystical, musical melodies that lilt lyrically, languidly through the density of trees, startling me as I step onto my porch, then drawing me in and lighting me up like a magical torch, and I forget it, whatever doldrums of duties I have planned for the day, and enraptured, obey instead the beauties of those notes and these moments and all they have to say about spontaneous peace and joy and where our energy belongs. And smiling, I begin to pray. God bless the wood thrush. God bless its radiant song. And whether my day be one of joy or sorrow, God bless the wood thrush. May it be here tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sandy, for having me.
Oh, Tom, that was amazing. What a welcoming of summer that was for sure. And the energy of your delivery. Wow. Yeah. So poetry is a physical experience too, for sure. So wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
There were so many great lines in all of them, Tom. In the first one, I loved 2 red poppies, smack cheeks. It was right at the end. I didn't get the whole thing, but a great
red
ending.
Cheeks on the cheek of night. Smack red lips on the cheek of night.
That's it.
Yeah.
The second one, I love that reference to the Western movies that you had seen as a child. And then that jacketless, hatless, damn the dishes, damn the bills. I'm not getting it all right, but that was like so cool. Just really great. And Turkey Love, I've heard it before, and I really, really love it.
Thanks.
The whole thing was so good, so inspiring.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, everything was great, of course, but the turkey poem I really loved. There's been a series of videos on Instagram, all different UPS guys, all different neighborhoods. So I got a feeling that they're not AI generated. And since you saw it in AARP,
Right.
They're not going to tease us old folks about
No,
anything.
no.
So,
It was a real photo.
but the UPS guys the same way. The turkeys, I guess, they protect their feeding ground.
They think of them as rivals.
Yeah. So these poor guys, they park the truck in one spot, they grab a box, they run somewhere, they run back to the truck, they grab another box, they run. It's hysterical. And it all came through in the poems.
Yeah.
And then you took it to just, another higher, deeper, whatever level with the last line. We know, and then I lost the middle words. We know, oh God.
Oh God, we know.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we are the turkeys.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, and I also had so many lines that I only, could only keep up with a few because it's not just your lines, it's the whole, each poem is its whole picture. But a couple that I did jot down where the sun anoints each leaf, and then about the fence post emanates light, the weaving a fabric of magic. And then your second to last, I think, poem, stars, ancient fires, stoking the night with impassioned stories that reach us only as light.
Oh, that was beyond. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, those are amazing lines in an amazing poem. Yeah. So thank you. What a joy. Oh, and of course the owl poem.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can tell I love nature. I love being out in it.
And you bring us in.
Oh.
Oh, and I realized I discovered recently that wood thrushes, the reason they can make that two-toned sound is they have two sets of vocal cords.
Oh, yes.
It's pretty cool.
You're right. I'm glad you brought that up. I remember that, reading that. Yeah. Only once in all my hiking days have I seen one. I've always heard it in the woods. But one time I looked up and it was on a tree. It was a Great Pond State Forest in Simsbury. It was on a tree right above me and I could see it singing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I
really
don't
a
think I
treat.
ever have, but
No.
I love their sound.
Each poem that you read, it's like I'm going on an adventure, and you read it with such enthusiasm and just the right pacing. And so I really admire that so much.
Thank you.
And there's of course, certain phrases that I loved this one. The thumbnail of the moon scratches the sky. I've never heard that before. That's really beautiful.
Yeah,
And one on the great horned owl, I heard that sound a few weeks ago, and I didn't know what kind of owl it was.
Yeah.
Like, now I know. So,
Yes.
sewing up the night with notes. Did you say that? I think that
I
was what I
did.
said.
I said that.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. I love your poetry. Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I think it was sewing up the nights with a magic fabric. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. I just want to thank you again for your wonderful, moving words always.
Yeah, thank you, Sherri.
Sherri, would you like to read?
Oh, sure, I would. We have time?
We do. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. This little poem is called Junco Poem. I heard it from another room. Thud. A dull, blunt thud. Once I knew what happened. It happened before. It was the reason I hung the colored beads in the window, facing south. So you'd notice the movement, the dance of angled light, and you'd know you couldn't fly there. You'd slow down, pull your heads back, change the slant of your wings. The low clouds must have tricked you. No sun to brighten the beads today. The glass became invisible and you flew into it. There, flipped over, down on the deck, on your back, I saw through the window white breast feathers showed soft to the sky. The beads didn't save you as I read they would. I thought you were gone. Then, like the fall hadn't even happened, you flipped over onto your small feet, shook yourself for a second, stood steady, lifted your small gray wings like nothing at all caused you to fall. tough little Junko. You flew to the edge of the yard and perched on a Japanese maple branch. True story.
I'm glad you got a tough little bird for a neighbor there, Sherri.
I want to meet that bird, Sherri. He's my hero. Or
He's a cutie.
Wow, that's great.
Thank you.
You really took us on a little ride there.
Glad it had a happy ending.
Yeah.
Good to have a happy ending. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being part of the conversation today.
If you'd like to know more about what we do, please visit our website at OrenaugMountainPublishing.com. Check out our poetry anthologies and learn how you can take part in an upcoming collection. And learn more about our services. Let us help you publish your next book. Once again, this has been People and Their Poems, presented by Orenaug Mountain Publishing. Have a great day.